Alright. Nutty Putty Cave. I'm super
Welcome,
excited for
adventurer.
this.
I'm Brandon, and I'll be your voice guide through the Nutty Putty Cave. Alongside this narration, you'll find 10 audio tapes scattered throughout the cave, one for each unique section. Collect them all to uncover the full story of this remarkable place.
Alright. So this is the Nutty Putty Cave. A very famous cave if you guys don't know about it. Back in 2009, and we'll get some information as we go. But there was a spelunker. I don't remember his name exactly. It was John something. But he basically died in this tunnel. This tunnel is no longer accessible to the public. But this game, Cave Crave, got together with somebody who actually mapped out this cave, has explored this cave multiple times. So we are in the real cave. Even all the environment is mapped out pretty well to the real thing. So yeah, let's see if we can read this. So if we're here, I believe it was actually down here, somewhere over here, I believe, where he passed. Somewhere, but cannot read any of this, so unfortunately I can't provide that info. We don't need to clean our hands yet. But anyways, let's explore Nutty Putty. This cave is located in Utah. Alright, so here's
As you already
one.
know, Nutty Putty Cave is located west of Utah Lake in Utah County, United States. Despite its big reputation, the cave isn't actually that large. The total mapped length is about 1,355 to 1,400 feet, with a depth of
That's the
roughly
dead end.
145 feet. From this point, the cave splits into two routes. We can head left to enter the maze, or go right toward the famous Big Slide. For the full experience, I recommend starting on the left. Let's go there now.
So we went that way, which led to a dead end. That's where we came from.
Look at your watch. The percentage shows how much of the cave you've
Alright, so that's
already
the left
explored.
path.
Remember, you can rewind or pause the audio guide at
We've
any
explored
time
5%.
using the
There's
tablet
north.
or the menu, which opens by pressing and holding the right stick. Hold it now and try adjusting the audio by touching the on-screen icons. Try adjusting the audio by touching the on. Look at your watch.
Cool.
The percentage shows how
Alright,
much of the cave
so
you've already explored. Remember, you can rewind or pause the audio guide at any
cool
time
about these
using the tablet or the
is I
menu,
can use
which
this
opens by pressing and holding the
to
right
mark.
stick. Hold it now.
So
and try
that's the
adjusting
entrance up
audio by
there.
touching the on-screen icons.
So I'm just gonna mark that as the start. And then we have the left path here. And then the big slide is somewhere over there. So we'll do an arrow and then another arrow. And then up here, since that way was a dead end, we'll do dead end. Alright. So he said the left path first. Alright, so it's opening up in here. Let's see if I can adjust some light. Alright, so this is the big slide. We have another path going up that way. Let's go see what's up there real quick before we keep going down. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and stand. get down. Oh, well, we can still stand. Alright, so no extra corridors. Okay. Hands are still looking good. Alright, so now we're splitting off to 2 different directions. So I'm gonna say start. So I don't know if that was the big slide or if we still have the big slide coming up. But anyways, tape number 2.
Here we are. This section of the passage is called the Maze, and you'll soon see why. Sculpted by hot water in some unusual forms, it's given many adventurers their first taste of getting lost here. You see, Nutty Putty is a hydrothermal cave. Instead of being carved by rainwater
Make sure the
seeping
hands
down,
stay clean.
it formed through hydrothermal activity. Its origin is also hypogenic, meaning superheated, mineral-rich water rose from below and dissolved the rock from the inside out. Quite unusual compared to most limestone caves. Take a look and let's proceed further to the big room.
Okay, now do they link up? Looks like it does. Yeah, that should be... Just out of curiosity. It should link up with where we split. Right here? No. Right here, okay. So we did confirm that that links back up. Alright, we haven't hit any super low clearance stuff yet. Okay, so we can go that way. There's moments where you've actually got to hold your breath in order to be able to squeeze through some of these sections. Alright, so we made it to the big room.
Welcome to the big room. Compared to most cave sections, it feels open, tall, and almost comfortable. Many cavers pause here to catch their breath before moving on, so stay a while and listen. The cave was discovered in 1960 by a teenage caver named Dale Green, who went on to explore and document many caves in Utah. It's said Dale Green originally thought of calling it Silly Putty, but later decided Nutty Putty sounded better. Can't argue here. The cave takes its name from its soft clay-like texture made of silicon dioxide, the same mineral found in sand. As it formed upward through superheated water depositing calcite, other minerals were also left behind, creating a complex structure. That's why many passages are wet and filled with sticky clay, while in other places, the walls are made up of cherty limestone, sometimes coated with a thin layer of powdery calcite. Mind you, we're basically crawling through an entire semester's worth of physics and chemistry.
Interesting. Alright, Helmet Eater.
The Helmet Eater. Why the name? Nutty Putty Cave became a favorite training ground for Boy Scouts, adventure groups, and college students, many of whom had their
That was a
helmets
hold breath moment.
hidden by its tight passages. The narrow, twisting tunnels offered just enough challenge that countless adventurers, including teens and scouts, squeezed in only to get stuck for hours, sometimes overnight, before being rescued. Thanks to its nearby location and the novelty of caving, it also earned a quirky reputation as a local date cave, where students would bring partners for a rugged outing. It's definitely harder to escape your date here. Well, all in all, these stories contributed to the cave's reputation as both an adventurous and somewhat hazardous place.
See, I can never do
We're
this in real
approaching
life.
the end of this section of the cave. Got yourself warmed up? Good. Perhaps it's due to its hydrothermal past. Temperatures inside Nutty Putty remain around 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 12.7 degrees Celsius year round. That may not seem very cold, but remember that movement through the cave is slow and the body has little chance to warm up through circulation. For caving, it's therefore recommended not only to have a helmet, flashlight, and sturdy boots, but also warm, preferably waterproof clothing. Once you feel you've seen everything here, let's head back to the entrance and explore the second part of the cave.
Cool. Alright. So now we're going to go to the right side. Just got to make our way all the way back. And so we'll just keep trotting along here. There's the helmet. And hold breath. Now the nice thing is, on the Nutty Putty cave for the game, they actually made a few changes from the rest of the levels that are available, which are also all real-time caves. Is that in the normal ones, they have a feature where your light can run out, so you can't waste too much time. If your light goes out, you die. You can also fall from great heights. However, with the Nutty Putty, because this is more of an educational cave, they disabled death, so this is purely educational and for exploring without the worry of dying. So, we can waste as much time as we want here in Nutty Putty. Another fun fact, which the game will probably let us know once we get there, is the diver that died here, his body is actually still there. And again, this happened in 2009. They were unable to rescue him, and so this cave became his grave, where he remains today in the same position. Initially, they had that section of the cave closed off, but later decided to go ahead and close the entire cave down in general. So there's no more public access to this cave whatsoever. So that's why this exists in the game, so that people can kind of have that experience to a degree, and at least be able to explore it and see what it has to offer. Alright, so we need to go up this way. Oh, jeez. Alright. So he said to make it back to the start, right? That's all he said? Oh, oh. Oh no. Don't mind me, guys, I'm just breaking the game. I've never attempted to climb up. Alright, so we went all the way to down here. So now we need to go back down and go to the left. Because it had us go all the way down. Or wait, no. This is, okay, so go down to the right. There's the big slide. Okay, so yeah. Alright, so down to the right. Just not that way, because that was the dead end. But this way... That goes down quite a ways. How deep are we right now? We're 161 feet down.
Feel like sliding?
This is the big slide.
You're not alone. At the height of its popularity, the cave drew more than 5,000 visitors a year. So much traffic wore the rock smooth, and experts warned that a fatal accident was only a matter of time in one of its main features, a long 45-degree chamber known as the Big Slide, where we are right now. Those safety concerns, along with the growing damage caused by constant use, led to the cave's temporary closure in 2006. They're also the reason for the ladder you'll find at the end of this section.
We're actually
Be
sliding.
careful on your way down. You don't want to meet your end here, especially in a place meant for a very different
So
kind
that's
of rebirth.
why we
you'll
have
soon discover.
these. Because I was actually sliding a little bit. And you do have stamina. But we should... Holy shit, how much further does the big slide go down? Where's another rock? Grab the rock. There we go. Okay, I still can't even see the end. Alright. Oh, we got a thing to climb. Ooh. All right. They didn't have those on the initial maps. Alright, so now we keep going. Alright, so we made it down the big slide. Dude, this is so... Hold breath. We don't have... Technically, right now, we don't have to worry about it. So we still can't fully stand. We can go that way. We can go... That looks... Yeah, that's dead end, so... We go this way. Boom. Do that. And... Start. Okay. Why do you keep trying to... I just want to stay prone. I don't want to crouch. Oh. Alright, so climbing or movement is starting to get a little difficult. We gotta clean our gloves off so we can get some grip. Alright, good enough. So that is something you do have to do every now and then. Start. So there's a left path and a right path. So we got the birth canal.
The corridor to the left leads to Ed's Push and the story of what happened there.
Oh.
The corridor to the right takes you to the threshold of one of the cave's most famous sections. Its name speaks for itself and has long been a magnet for many spelunkers who came here straight from the entrance. I believe there's little point in describing it further. This is something you'll simply have to experience.
Alright.
See you on the other side.
So now I'm curious, because obviously we can go that way, and we will. We're going to go that way too. However, if that way leads to what I think it is, I kind of want to save that way for last, and then do this way first. But if that's not what I think it is, then I kind of want to do that first before continuing on. So we'll go boom, and boom. Maybe right here I'll do death and wow. Okay. So, oh boy, decisions. We're 229 feet down. We're halfway through the exploration of the cave. So I do think that is what I think it is. So we're going to go this way first. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hold breath. Oh, ran. Okay. So it looks like it actually... Oh, okay. So it splits off up that way. Dead end right here. Okay. So you go up. That's where we came up. And you go down. So what does up bring us to? The aorta crawl. So before we go that way... Let's check this side first. Which splits dead end. Oh. Somebody left a flashlight. This is a dead end. Let's leave it there. Can't really do anything with it. Okay. Alright, so now we go up. And that's where we came up. So now we gotta do the aorta crawl. I'm gonna point. So start. Wait, was that a dead end up there? No, that's actually where we're going. That was the dead end. Here, let's erase that. I'm just gonna draw a flashlight for that way. Okay.
Even before Jones's death and the permanent closure of the cave, there were many
Jones,
cases
that's...
of people getting lost here, with Boy Scouts being perhaps the most frequently rescued group over the years. Some veterans recall that the early
Oh, that is
explorations were
tight.
much more wild, muddy, improvised, and with little preparation. In later years, rules, managed access, and safety protocols were introduced to prevent accidents and protect the cave from littering. Tired and panicked visitors had sometimes abandoned helmets, clothing, dead batteries, and other items, things that not only spoiled the sense of exploration, but in the dark, wet passages could cause dangerous accidents. The guiding rule in Nutty Putty was simple: never squeeze into a place you might not be able to get back out of.
Which is
Here,
exactly
you
what
can squeeze through
happened to
anyway.
John's.
If you feel stuck, try moving your head in line with your hands to push forward or back out.
So that way was a dead end. Holy shit, dude. And to think that people do this in real life. They do exactly this. Where they have to take off gear and hold their breath. Just to, holy shit, okay, so we got a bunch of paths here. The Vein Alley.
We're now traveling through Vein Alley, another biologically named section of the cave. Names like this, as well as the aorta crawl and the birth canal, are not merely metaphors for the vein-like network of winding passages. They also reflect the cave's unique ecosystem, which hosts an endemic fauna. Various insects and bats
Alright, so that's a
specifically
dead end.
adapted to survive in these dark, narrow chambers, making Nutty Putty not only a remarkable geologic formation, but also a site of considerable biological interest. The alley has several branches. If you want to achieve a 100% exploration rating of the cave, try to visit them all. The Vein Alley marks the end of the right route through the cave. So when
Okay.
you feel you've had enough, you can make your way back to the entrance.
I went up that way, so we go up this way. I don't want to get too lost. Oh, what do we have here? Carabiner with another dead end. Oh, nope. Yep. Alright. Get in, bitch. We're going spelunking. Alright. So let's go back down to that main corridor. And we'll push all the rocks down along the way. Okay. So now we can go down here. Man, this is wild. You know, hearing so much about this cave, and now here I am actually able to somewhat... Whoa, what? Excuse me? When did I get that? How did I get that? Whoa, dude. Has this always been a thing? Alright, so just a bunch of dead ends in the veins. Alright, so now I think we can go ahead and go back for the finale of the Nutty Putty Cave. Now, as the announcer had mentioned, which the other maps don't really have much of an announcer, this one only does because of what had happened here. Let's see, where did that board go? Right there. I'm trying to ever marked anything. Oh. So I think this is the way we gotta go to exit the vein. Oh yeah. How our hands looking? They gotta get cleaned here soon. Oh no, that one's the dead end. We still have grips, so we're alright for... Oh, it's getting tight. Starting to lose grip. Okay. Let's do a quick clean. And... that's where I want to go. Oh. Okay. That was the carabiner, which was also a dead end, right? Alright, I'm getting lost. Where did I take a wrong turn? I swore that was the way. Or, no, this was... no. It was this way. The aorta crawl. There we go. Alright. So. It wasn't this way, right? No, this one dead-ended. It was further back. Now, I do have it marked, so... Alright. So, we go back down that way. Through the birth canal. And now we go this way. Now, one thing I do know is you actually cannot go to the exact spot in the game. They have that blocked off in the game as well to prevent people from recreating his death, which I think is really respectful.
On November 24th, 2009, John Edward Jones became trapped in Nutty Putty Cave after entering a tight, uncharted passage that he mistakenly believed was part of the well-known birth canal route. Instead, he had crawled into an unmapped fissure that was far narrower than expected. The passage sloped downward and constricted as it went, forcing him headfirst into a nearly vertical section where his body became wedged. Entering headfirst made it nearly impossible for him to reverse or maneuver once he was stuck. Despite more than 24 hours of effort, rescuers were unable to free him, as the combination of the cave's fragile geology, the limits of physics, and human endurance...
So basically, he crawled down like this.
In the aftermath,
and got
Authorities made the
stuck in a
difficult
position
decision
face
to leave his
down.
body where it was
It
and permanently
was
seal the cave, rather than risk more lives in a recovery attempt.
kind of... And that wasn't me recreating, by the way. It was more demonstrating the position that he was in. That was a good opportunity to be able to do that. I didn't want to... Ooh, okay. So... yeah, this one's the dead end. There's got to be more tapes. So I'm wondering if maybe... Okay. This splits just around. Okay. Final route in the resting place of John Jones, who died tragically on November 25th, 2029. R.I.P. John Jones. Oh boy. Holy cow. I don't know if we're gonna fit. Yep, not gonna make it. But basically, this is where, down here is where he died. They don't let you go down there. They do have the rest of it blocked off in the game. But yeah, as you can see, you can imagine what that must have been like for him. To be in a spot like that, upside down, with no way for anybody to be able to get to you and pull you out of there. You have no communication with anybody on the outside. You know, you're over more than 200 feet underground. And yeah, I mean, it would just be absolutely terrifying. I couldn't imagine. You know, and for it to become your final resting place, you know, it's just absolutely insane. You know, and he was so young too. I think he was only like 20 something years old. Wasn't even 30. And yeah, that's sad. But yeah, that's the Nutty Putty Cave. I don't know where the last 3% is. Honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and head back to the start. But this is a taste of what it's like to be an extreme spelunker. So we're just gonna make our way back to the start real quick. We're at the big slide. Ooh. Nah, that's a reach. Ugh. Now I should stop here. Make sure your hands are good and clean going up the big slide. Good enough. Ugh. And we go right there. Oh, we did it. That was the Nutty Putty Cave. So yeah, that's just wild to me, you know? So here's Vein Alley, the Aorta Crawl. We ended up right over here. That's where he ended up. Either here or over here somewhere. I wish there was a way to be able to actually read this information. Maybe even zoom in. Brandon Koalis. He was the voice talking. He is the person who's actually mapped out this entire cave. Not just in this aspect, but in a 3D aspect as well. So I thought that was really cool that they collaborated with somebody who's actually done this many times as well, and was able to provide that experience for people. That was really cool. I know it's not much. You're looking at rocks, you know. But looking at it from a tragic standpoint, and not only just tragic, but what drives people to do this kind of stuff, you know, and it's to put yourself in the shoes of people who do this, you know, having the aspect of your flashlight running out, you know, getting stuck somewhere, having to hold your breath and remove gear just to squeeze through tight areas. You know, it's really terrifying thing to think about. And while this isn't a horror game, you know, when you think about it as a survival, aspect and the kind of situations that you can get into, I mean, to me, that's pretty scary. But yeah, that was the Nutty Putty Cave. I've been waiting for this for a while. They only just got the update about a week ago on PSVR2. It's been available for a little while on the Quest, but it just released for PlayStation 5. So I'm excited that I finally got to experience it. I was the main reason I even bought this game in the first place, was to experience Nutty Putty. So yeah, that was Nutty Putty, and yeah, cool, fun stuff.